Cheers! Welcome to Movie Bitches! Episode 219. Tonight we're reviewing Rocketman. Doo-doo-boo-doo-boo-doo-boo-doo. I don't know what he says. I don't know the lyrics.
Burning up the sky for
super bright. I don't know, yeah.
Sometimes when songs are so famous, you don't bother to learn the lyrics. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
I mean, sometimes it's just like those lyrics in particular are kind of just mumbly. A little mumbly. Not gonna lie. Rocketman, the latest, sad, depressing musical biopic about a gay man played by a straight actor. This tea is delicious.
Oh, is it scalding? Refused to see Bohemian Rhapsody, so
right.
I still have no context for that. People seem to be comparing them a lot.
Yes. It's an obvious comparison.
Sure, but I can't compare them because I did not see one of them.
I can. This is going to sound weird, but in a lot of ways, and this is not what most people are saying, I think I preferred Bohemian Rhapsody.
Really?
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Queen's music is more fun.
Well, I mean, you know that I love Queen.
Yes.
I love me some Queen.
And that was the saving grace for me of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Where you were like, yes, this song. I love Elton John. I love a lot of Elton John's songs. They are more melancholy.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. They're great songs. It's just, I kept finding myself being like, when does this movie get happy? Ever?
I appreciated that for the most part, the musical numbers were musical numbers.
Yes.
The movie paused, there were dancers,
yes.
There was camera movement,
there was magical realism.
There was magical realism. I was like, here for this.
Yeah.
I enjoy this. It's not just concert footage.
Right. However...
So I liked that.
I agree. That being said, it felt a little bit, because there's so many Elton John songs, it felt a little bit like...
Shove that one in there?
Don't
forget that one?
Yes. And a series of slightly related music videos that have like a little bit of an interstitial plot line to it. Where it was just like, oh, and then they got married.
Well, yeah, the plot...
How did we get here?
I mean, it's not like riveting. It's like, it's the same plot as every other musical biopic that has ever come out, I think.
I mean, it's I'm
like, oh, Lady Sings the Blues, yep. Walk the Line, yep. Ray, yep. I'm trying to think of other ones. But, I don't know if it's that there are no musicians who had happy lives, which is not the case. I just saw Colin Hay in concert. It was fabulous. Sure, he's had strife, but, he was just telling stories about, I wrote this song on the deck of this about so-and-so because I was thinking about it. I feel like they haven't figured out how to portray songwriting in film.
Yes.
It's just... And then I wrote this song.
Yeah.
Which, can happen.
But, yes.
But, I always want to see the process.
I agree.
Get into the minutia of the writing and the sitting and racking your brain and how am I going to express what I'm feeling and put it down on paper and how does that relate to what's going on instead of, and then I wrote the song.
Well, I also think that, it's mind-boggling to me that they haven't figured that out, because it seems like songwriting would be a perfect mechanism for flashback.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you want to tell this story about things that happened in their life and a character and their relationships?
Right.
Great. Now he's going to sit down and melancholy think or, reminisce about, oh, right, or I'm thinking about you and this is how I feel or whatever it is.
Well, and the issue with, an Elton John story is that he didn't write the lyrics to his songs, which is, I feel like, largely unknown.
Perhaps. I think it was. I did not know that.
The majority of people think he just did it all, and Bernie really gets just... left at the wayside. he gets to cash the check and he gets to, live an anonymous life, which is nice.
Yes.
I feel like Bernie Taupin, it's weird to have, because the lyrics of a song are so, sort of the story and the emotion of it. And so is the music, obviously, and the music is fantastic, but it's hard when it's like, okay, it's this emotional thing that's happening to Elton John, but technically Bernie wrote the lyrics.
Yes.
So was that happening to him? What did he think about that? Was he writing it about Elton? Is it for him? Obviously your song is for him. So there's just a little bit of a weirdness. So I actually would have liked a movie about Elton and Bernie.
Well, here's my thing.
And the fact that they've been writing music together for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
40 years, something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
But there was no like, I mean, maybe this is how it happened, you know? It seemed like Bernie literally just wrote and then Elton wrote it. So there wasn't a lot of scenes of, let's collaborate.
Right.
Think about this.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we try this.
How are you feeling?
And maybe that's not how it went, but it's a hard movie when you're like, I'm torn the whole time because I'm like, but Bernie wrote this.
Yeah. Particularly the way that they framed it. It's like this jukebox musical. I was surprised it wasn't a Broadway show before they made this movie.
I mean, yeah.
Because it felt like it.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I'm sure that's coming.
But like, it's weird to have a Broadway musical
that's...
come after a movie. Because everyone can just watch it at home.
Billy Elliot, which Elton John wrote.
The difference between Billy and Ballet.
Billy and Ballet.
And Tom Hanks? That bastard needs another Oscar like I need another phone call from Elton John.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. Speaking about Billy Elliot, I think Jamie Bell was my favorite part of the movie. Bernie.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was great.
Wait, that was
Jamie Bell. That was Billy Elliot.
That's crazy.
I don't know what that was.
I don't
know what that was.
I worked with a different dialect coach for 6 months just so I could tell the word Billy from the word ballet.
But that was him.
Interesting.
I thought he was like the emotional grounding of the film. Yeah. He gave a really
he was great.
Nuanced performance. I really appreciated him. I felt the most like from him.
Yes.
When he writes your song and then he starts playing it and then Jamie Bell walks in and is like, oh, this is it. Like, this is the magic. I love you.
Yeah.
Platonically. But like, I love you. And I was like, oh, that was really nice.
It was really nice.
That was like one of the best scenes.
I agree. Yeah, speaking of subtlety, you know who wasn't subtle? Taron Egerton.
I wavered. He was coming in hot. And then sometimes I'd be like, oh, that was good. And then I'd be like, whoa, boy.
Yeah.
That was a lot of facial expressions. What's happening?
Am I supposed to know what you're telling with your face? Because it's like a lot.
Right now!
They pay to see Elton John.
So the movie starts, he walks in as the devil into an AA meeting and is like, I'm alcoholic, I'm a drug addict, I'm a sexaholic, I'm bulimic, all of these things.
I never saw the sexaholism.
Not as much as you would. No, we didn't.
I mean, we literally see him have sex once, which is not really. We see him shirtless and legs up with another naked man once.
I thought that was like a fun scene. I just wish there had been more. I thought that scene was kind of sexy.
That was exactly what I wanted for that scene. I was just like, and then what else happens?
Okay. It's a movie for the masses. If they put like a hardcore sex scene in there.
I didn't say that to be hardcore.
But like unfortunately, any gay sex scene that's even a bit risque is like hardcore for people.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Still, which is unfortunate.
Sure.
But like that, this movie's like for, the greatest generation. You know what I mean? Like in a way. It's like, oh, and then they went and they remembered those songs.
I will say that's the thing about most of these, if not all of these movies, is that I just leave being like, well, now I just want to listen to the real album.
Yeah,
which maybe that's the point. Like, right? I'm sure Elton John is making a pretty penny after this movie came out.
He has so much goddamn money.
Yeah.
He's fine. His 10 generations down grandkids are fine. He has so much fucking money. But yeah, definitely, he's like, his album sales are rocketing to the top, would you say?
He's polishing his rocket.
He's polishing that rocket.
That platinum rocket.
In sales.
Oh my god.
But like, yeah, this is definitely going to be a Broadway musical, right?
I think it has to be.
I mean,
I don't want to see it, but I think it will be.
I think it would be better as a Broadway musical because you'd have all these talented dancers. I mean, they had dancers and stuff, but like, when you're in a theater and someone's belting in person and they're dancing their hearts out and you see the sweat, it's different.
That's true.
Well,
they don't have to look, and they can seem like Elton John without having to be so specific. Like, you can really go for just the talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then Taron Egerton was good.
I thought he sang well.
Yes.
I thought he acted well here and there.
Yeah.
It was I don't know, whenever the heavy scenes, it was like, oh, you didn't have the emotional range for this. But then when he was just kind of being fun Elton, I was like, oh, you're fun.
But at the same time, there wasn't really a lot of fun Elton.
There wasn't. Okay, so I don't think I like biopics.
No.
Rocketman is not a biopic. it is a, quote, musical fantasy.
You never walk out of a biopic about a musician and go, you know what I want to do?
Right.
I want to be a rock star.
No.
It's always like, oh boy, was it worth it? I feel like maybe it wasn't.
Right?
You know what I mean?
And then you feel complicit in like listening to the music and supporting them. You're like, maybe I shouldn't do this to them. It's my fault that they are like,
This movie was very sad,
Yeah.
which is a bummer because like for me, and you know, this is a perception, but like for me, I always thought of Elton John as like a badass who was like, fuck you,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be as flamboyant as that goddamn one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not literally out because he wasn't.
Right,
Like
right.
I'm not literally like telling people I'm gay, but like it was very evident. But I always thought like, yeah, you worked the system.
Yeah.
You were like, fuck you, I'm gonna be as flamboyant as I want. I'm gonna wear all these fucking costumes. And isn't that rad? And I'm owning myself in a way. And even if you're insecure in reality, his stage presence is like showing the world you can be whatever you want. And the movie is like, well, this isn't the real you. You don't need all these feathers and headdresses.
Right.
It should just be about the music. And I was like, well.
Yeah, we were supposed to seem ashamed of it all, and I'm like, but that's what makes this fun and fabulous. Why?
Right.
You're
a style icon.
Why are we as a film? We should be sad that he's ashamed of it.
Yes.
Not feeling like he should be ashamed of it.
Yes.
That's the.
Yes.
And the other thing that was weird to me was that he said to his mom, he's like, I fucked everyone that I wanted to.
Yeah.
I did all of the drugs and I've had so much pleasure and whatever. And I'm like, but we didn't see it.
And why am I apologizing for it? Because I had loved every minute of it.
And I'm
I was
like,
like, did you?
We didn't see any of that. And that's what's really annoying to me. There's this orgy scene that was like, sure, artistically rendered or whatever. But
it was
like,
just the slave music video. It was just like basically the end of Rat Race. Like he just crowd surfed. And it was like a metaphor for fucking, I guess.
Yeah.
But really though, like he was crowd surfing for a while.
For a while.
And then they kind of like rolled around on each other.
Kind of.
They weren't actually fucking.
Oh, not even
kind of simulated fucking. It was just sort of writhing.
Yes.
Near-ish to each other, mostly naked.
There was like a guy in a harness. Okay.
But he was pretty fat.
He was pretty bad. But like, no, so in that scene though, it still was joyless. Like he didn't seem like he was enjoying himself.
Right, you're right. He was like, oh boy, what have I gotten myself into this week?
Exactly.
Oh, I'm just fucking nameless people and isn't this sad? And I was like, no. It should be like, yeah.
That was my problem
I'm finally owning my sexuality.
Or even if it's not, if it's just like, I'm so miserable that I'm going to fuck my way and poke my way into happiness. I'm going to cover it all up with as many pleasurable things as I can.
Sure.
But then he needs to be having pleasure to some degree when he's doing those things. And he never seemed to be having fun. No, at no point did he seem to be having fun. And so then I'm like, well, this is just sad. And the other thing about it that pissed me off was that I was like, why take such a narrow view? The movie just ends quite abruptly. And it's like, and then Elton John was sober for 28 years and he found the love of his life and they have children now. And he
donates to charity
and starts an aid fund. And I'm like, why wasn't this the second act of the movie?
That's
where
what
it's
I
like,
always
oh
wanna
wait,
know.
it's not depressing.
Yeah.
Turns out he turned his shit around and he figured out a way to make movies or make music and find love. And like, he can be loved. That would have went.
You know, and then like the Beckhams make a cameo because all their kids are his god kids.
Sure.
You know? He meets the queen, he gets knighted. I mean, that was like a big fucking deal when he got knighted.
Yeah, Lion King, hello. A Candle in the Wind.
Oh, we'll talk about time and space
Oh
and
my God.
aging. Because again, I think I hate it when movies start at the end and then flashback to the beginning.
Yep.
So then you're like,
Well, when do we get to that part where he's in AA?
well, I already know where this is going. And then it's just over. And then you're like, well, I think I hate that.
Yeah, I do too. I definitely do.
It's definitely a device that I don't enjoy. The framing device is, he's the devil.
Yeah.
We've gotten off track.
Yeah.
He's the devil.
Yep.
He's rock and roll. He's drugs. He's sex. He's
Yeah.
all of it. He's
Yeah.
the devil. That's what the movie's telling us. He's a bad person for living the life of a rock star. Don't you want to watch 2 hours of him being a rock star? But no, I mean, like, literally, he has horns and wings, and he's the devil.
And then he slowly sheds them as he...
Well, no, not yet. Not yet. Not till the end, because he's still the devil when we meet him. So he's walking in slow motion and everything is overly dramatic and the stomping of the
Oh my God.
boots and it's like very self-conscious filmmaking and acting. And he gets into this room and it's just like, well, I know all of you have shit and problems, but I'm rich as fuck and I'm dressed like a devil. So listen to my life story. And you're like, what?
It was really weird.
Not like, oh, I'm going to sit and listen and
Right.
take it in.
Right.
No, it's all about me still. So that was a weird way to frame it.
I agree. I will say this.
Yeah.
If they cast anyone other than Tilda Swinton for the David Bowie biopic,
Oh my God.
I will riot in the streets.
Riot.
I will say enough is enough. No.
No. No.
She's the only choice.
She's literally the only choice. She could play 20.
Oh, sure.
I'm just saying, we start from the beginning.
Right.
Like, I was thinking, like, maybe Mackenzie Davis. She was the prostitute in Blade Runner 4049 with 2049 with the hair. She's on *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Okay.
She was just in the trailer for the new Terminator that looks terrible that we saw. The blonde hair, the young one.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if we're doing throughout the ages,
Sure.
but eventually we get to Tilda.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a little more than. But then, you know.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
No, but I do. The filmmaking. Can we talk about the filmmaking?
Oh boy.
It's wacky.
Yeah.
It felt like a multimedia hodgepodge because every scene, some of them look like old dated footage, and some of it looks like out of focusy CGI nonsense, and then some of it's like lit really well. And then it was just like a really weird. Like it didn't have a consistent look throughout.
No.
It was for me. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, ooh, you know what would have been great? Julie Taymor.
Shut up! That's what I was gonna say.
It would have been so amazing if Julie Taymor had directed this. There would have been puppets. There's the Lion King tie-in.
Yes! Oh my God.
Oh, it's everything.
That was exactly my thought. Because she did About
Across
Time.
the
Or
Universe.
that's what I meant. About Time. Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Across the Universe.
She did Across the Universe, which, you know, has its problems.
Yeah.
But, like, is visually stunning and interesting and really cool. And, you know, there's, like, a lot of good stuff in there.
This could have used a lot more of that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, how good would that have been?
Yeah, that was my exact thought.
Wait, can Julie Taymor, she'll just direct the David Bowie biopic
Love it.
with Tilda.
Love it.
And question mark Mackenzie Davis.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I liked parts of it. I
Yes,
really did.
yes.
Ambitious,
Yeah.
in its try-hardness. I mean, there was just so many.
Ambitious in its ambitiousness.
Yeah, it was just, there were so many shots where I said, well, that was unnecessary. You know, like, oh, and it's two people sitting at dinner having a calm, whoa, you know, like, let's pan around.
Yeah.
And it was like, why? You know, and then, oh my God, I think the worst offense was when it's like real close on his circular glasses and he's like, I'm having a really serious, it melded into his crossfade to his heart-shaped glasses. Now we're back at AA. And it was like, oh, that transition, hated it.
Yeah.
The transition between Rocketman, so he is like, I'm a mess, I'm taking pills, I'm basically trying to kill myself.
Yeah.
I jump into the pool, I try to kill myself,
Oh,
I
God,
have a whole moment
shot.
where I talk to my younger self because this movie is not subtle. And
Can I just pause? Can I just pause? I know, if I can never see an underwater existential crisis shot again, I would be very happy.
Yeah, we can stop at Graduate and then move on.
Thank you. That's all. PSA over. Thank you. Sorry. Continue. Yes, this was great though.
It was great. I'm in a blur of drugs and alcohol and all of it exploding into the sky, and I turn into fireworks and a plane goes by and it looks like I got hit by the plane, and then boom, we're in the plane and he's like landed there out of a rocket of drugs and everything, and he's like, where even am I, because I'm living in this sort of blurred life.
That was the magical realism that I appreciated.
Yes.
That was also made me think of Julie Taymor.
Oh, I mean, seriously though, like, where's Julie Taymor? What's she doing? Can we get her some work?
Yeah.
I did sort of appreciate that it started with the bitches back.
I know.
I mean,
with this little 8-year-old kid
just
singing the bitch, the bitch is back.
It was like, goes back into Pleasantville and we're in the 50s.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, movie, maybe you're gonna surprise me. You're starting with the bitch is back.
Sure.
Okay. And then it was like, oh, I almost would have preferred if they'd ended it with the bitch is back.
Sure.
I'm back from rehab.
Exactly, right?
The
Okay, like that.
bitch is back. We haven't really talked about his family.
No.
Bryce Dallas Howard is his mom, and I thought she did a great job.
She did a great job.
I mean, his mom seems like
a total
bitch.
Yeah.
But, like, that would have been fun if he wrote The Bitch Is Back. I mean, but he didn't write it. Bernie did.
That's what's weird.
But if they had made it so, like, he was writing the song.
I think that's what they made it. That's what I got. That he was referring to his mom. Even at the very beginning.
Oh, I thought he was saying, I'm the bitch and I'm back to tell you this story.
No, to me it seemed like, oh, my mom's coming back to the house. Like, from being out doing whatever her harlotty self does.
Again, we don't know why Bernie wrote this song.
It's all confusing.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah, because she seems like a total heartless bitch.
Yes, but I thought she was, like, interesting and, like, kind of a diva, and she clearly liked fashion, and she was into, like, looking a certain way, so I was like, oh, is this where he got all of sort of his flamboyant fashion of it? We don't ever find that. Like, why was he so flamboyant? Who was buying his clothes? Was he buying his clothes? Like, I want to know about all that stuff. Who was making his costumes? Did he hire someone to sew it? Was he designing it with somebody? Like, the costumes were just there.
Yeah.
And that is such a part of Elton John. And I was bummed that I wanted the process of it. And, like,
how did he all of a sudden
come up with this?
Because they say, like, oh, go buy some new clothes, you know, and make it flashy or whatever.
In the overall years.
Yeah. I mean, and so sure, he gets some, you know, sparkly
but
star.
Like, yeah, once it becomes like these flamboyant, over-the-top outfits, I was like, who sewed all of this for you? Did you draw it? Who's designing his album covers? Did he have a part of that? Like, that's what I'm interested in and not interested in, oh, and he's doing more coke.
Right.
That, for me, because that's just the same movie, and you can still, like, portray that and have him, like...
That's a part of the story,
going down,
but it doesn't have to be the entire story.
That always seems to be the whole story, and I was like, oh, that's just, like, not what I'm interested in.
How did he become a creative artist that everyone loves? I want to know. I guess you have to watch a documentary for that? I don't know.
Remember when it's the first time we see Taron, well, not as the devil, when they do
when they do that transition from him as a kid?
It was like a oneer, and they're doing, you know, to Saturday Night, and he's a kid, and he goes through, and then all of a sudden he's Taron, and he's in this carnival. I mean, he never has any friends.
No.
You never meet his other bandmates other than to be like, there they are. They're just backdrop.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, who
does he hang out with?
Who is his friends? Did he not have any friends? That's a story.
Sure.
But like,
is he going to, like, where is he going out? Like, they keep showing him doing drugs, but it's always just like an anecdotal, or like some weird artistic, like, oh, and here's a swipe of cocaine. But like, is he going out after these shows? If so, who's he going out with? Where is he going? I want to know. Yeah. Is he going to Studio 54?
Yeah, probably.
If so, then I want to see that. Like,
exactly. So they're doing this whole number. It's a carnival, and they're dancing around, and it's like, oh, Saturday, yeah. And then that weird, like, Bollywood Indian
my god
verse in the middle of it that was so like old school musicals, like, oh, and now we're gonna bring out the chimes to do the like Asian part of the song, you know what I mean, where it was just like, ooh.
It was real cringy, and we're gonna have this weird Bollywood dance
like
number
all out of nowhere.
It was tasteless.
But like, why? That's not in the original song.
No,
I don't think so, not that I remember, but maybe. It was just very old school musical of like, now we're playing the bagpipes because it's the time for the people to come out in kilts, where it's like just like a general cultural verse. Yeah. And it was like, that was such a thing. Yeah. It was just felt real out of place.
And I agree.
And they did a good job of sort of like, you know, the rise, and he's like doing the backup for all the American acts and all of that, and the guy sort of giving him the eyes. Like, I thought a lot of the sort of his sexuality stuff, even though it wasn't as gay or explicit as I would have, you know, appreciated, like, they did a good job of sort of like, you know, little like side eyes here and there, and like all this, and they're hanging out with the people he used to play with and everything, and Bernie's like, oh, well, Elton's got a girlfriend, like, you know, newsflash, and all of their faces are like,
but then he just was like, oh.
But then he just outs him.
Yeah, he's just like, well, how's that work? Because you're a fag. And you're like, oh. I mean, maybe that happened. I just doubt it. I mean, like that. But maybe.
It is not a biopic.
he's been horribly depressed. He breaks up with the asshole guy. He's, like, tried to kill himself. And...
I mean, also, he was such an asshole. He's, like, getting a blowjob in broad
I
daylight.
thought you meant Elton John.
Oh, no, the manager.
Yeah. Oh, he was a full asshole. I mean, I was surprised they showed that scene of just, like... I mean, they didn't, like, show a dick. But like, it was like... very explicit that, like, his assistant was sucking him off outside in broad daylight, like...
In front of the pool boys.
In front of the pool boys! They break up, all this stuff, and he's trying to record a new song, it's crap, and then this woman is, like, nice to him. We don't meet her really at all, but, like, this woman is just like, wow, it must be lonely being a rock star. Dead cut to crossfade. Now we're at their wedding, and I was like, what? And then they show, everyone at the wedding, and Bryce Dallas Howard is like, what? Like, what's happening exactly? You came out to me.
Yeah.
She didn't know. The woman didn't know.
Did she not know?
She must have not known. She was sad when they broke up. But she married him. It wasn't like an agreement. I don't know.
Well, but it seemed like it was because they lived in 2 separate bedrooms.
I think that was after a period of time. We never know.
No.
We don't find out. Did he sleep with women ever? I don't know. She's in all of 7 minutes of the movie.
It was like, why bother?
I mean, the only thing that was interesting was I was like, wait, Elton John married a woman? What?
Sure.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
That was a thing I didn't know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just such kind of a throwaway, like, oh, okay, then that chapter ended.
Yeah, they could have just condensed so much of the, like, drug haze years into 2 artistic numbers, and then focused a lot on the rest of, like, you culminate in, like, holy shit, rock bottom, even maybe he got divorced. Like, he doesn't know what to do. He's totally lost. He goes, or he leaves Madison Square Garden, sold out show because he can't perform.
Did that happen? That seems like that didn't happen.
I just don't think it would have happened.
Elton's rehab group therapy. False.
But also, when was this happening?
Well, also, I mean,
when did he get sober? 93?
Well, 28 years.
28 years.
So that would have been 90.
90, right? 91. He was not wearing the devil outfits in 91.
And he certainly didn't look like that.
He had moved on to colorless suits at that point. Yeah. Come on, guys. I was so fucking confused.
That was such a poor framing choice.
I was also, I'll be honest, very disappointed there were no Muppets. I don't know. Yeah, it was just like, it was pretty dour.
Very.
Just like, oh, that was so sad. Like, talking about, like, Star is Born, right? It's the same story, right? But, like, if you actually made a biopic about Lady Gaga...
It is not a biopic.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be depressing.
No.
Of course there's things happened that were sad, and of course this and whatever, and remember the Alessandra years when she got too skinny. Like, stuff happened, but, there can be happiness.
Absolutely. That's what's annoying.
I want to make a musical biopic about someone who fucking owned it and was just like, yeah, I was a fucking rock star. It's always like, and then I hit rock bottom, and then we showed a photo montage at the end of how it was okay.
Or they died.
Or they fully died.
Where's the Andy Warhol biopic?
Oh boy. Oh.
Warhol. I always say it weird and everyone always makes fun of me. Say it with like there's an E on the end, but there's not.
Like Warhol.
Warhol.
There's a few documentaries that are very fascinating.
Sure, but
I mean, yeah, here for it. Can Austin Scarlett play him?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
It'd be so good.
I was just thinking then who would play Andre Leon Talley? His assistant. How crazy is that?
Oh my god.
I was gonna say I'd love to see a Mapplethorpe biopic too, but there was one. And actually,
was there?
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't a doc. It was a.
There's a doc.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And there was a biopic. It was pretty good. It was much better than Tom of Finland.
Well, sure. Yeah. So it's getting towards the end. He's gone through the shit. He's like, oh, I'm doing it. I'm gonna be sober, but I don't know if I can play the music sober. And Bernie's like, don't worry about it, man. The talent's within you. I got a song here just for you. And he hands him the envelope, and you're like, oh shit. What's the song gonna be? It's gonna be Candle in the Wind? Yeah, it's probably gonna be Candle in the Wind because that'd be fucking great. No, wait. What if it's? I mean, I know that Tim Rice wrote this, but I was like, what if it's Lion King? Yes, let's hear that. Pan up. Can you feel the love tonight? No, it's not that.
I was waiting for him to fall in love. Like, I was waiting for them later on.
When he finds his husband.
Can you feel? Especially because they made such a big deal about, like, oh, you'll never be loved. You'll never be loved properly.
Yeah, there was a lot of, like, ooh.
Yeah, his mom. I mean, I'm sure they made such a big deal about, like,
I'm sure that was
phrasing that
accurate,
must have been what she said.
But, like,
which,
you're
fuck
right.
you, bitch.
Fully fuck you. I would have liked to have seen him find happiness
Yeah.
in the movie.
I wanted to see him fucking fall in love, but I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah.
And then why not? Can you feel the love tonight? They'd stare at each other across the brook.
But no, we make it back to where we started, and he busts open the doors as the devil, lit from behind. You're expecting, like, doves
Oh,
to
sure.
fly, you know.
I hated the shot.
Oh my god. And then it's
this time.
stomping down, and feathers start falling. He's molting his devilish ways.
Sequins.
Oh, the flamboyant. Like, I was like, what is this telling me? That he's like gonna just strip away everything that was kind of.
All it told me was that his costume designer apparently was terrible. I was like, if it's falling apart with him just walking down this goddamn hallway, how is it going to hold up on stage?
It was metaphorical. He was molting.
Well, it was
like
because-
a phoenix
because-
rising from the ashes. He was gonna then confront his demons.
Well, and then of course the whole movie, he's in these cutaways back to the group therapy session.
It's just about him.
It's so weird.
He is holding those people hostage.
They kept checking back in, and it was like, oh, now the devil costume's gone, and he's in a robe. And I'm like, where did this robe come from?
Oh, right.
And then it was like, oh, now he's not in a robe anymore. He's in a sparkling Puma
sweatsuit. Okay, so now we're in the 90s? Question mark. He looks the same. He's not, the 90s Elton John shape. I'm just being real. Like,
we
know what he looked like in the 90s. We were there. And so I was like, are we still in the 70s? I'm not really sure what's happened.
It was really
confusing. Oh boy, well then this one it was like a multimedia project. So I've exorcised my demons, and I'm writing this new song, and it's not Candle in the Wind, and it's not Can You Feel the Love Tonight, it's I'm Still Standing. Then they just superimpose really terribly Taron Egerton into the I'm Still Standing music video.
In Cannes, which is the only reason that I could think of that it was in the Cannes Film Festival. I was like, oh, this all makes sense.
It's all coming together.
It's like when like a movie films in like Utah or Park City, and then it's like, oh, you got into Sundance. Shocker.
Down the street. He's just like green screened in to the Elton John shots of the music video. I was like, at this point,
just stand.
Just show the music video.
Thank you.
If this is what we're doing.
Especially because then it ends.
Yeah.
And it's like, Elton John was sober for 28 years, blah, blah, blah. Here's pictures of Elton John.
They always do that. It's just very standard.
Yeah.
In many ways, but also like interesting, creative in certain ways.
Sure.
I didn't hate it.
No. More than anything, I'm just fucking sick of this type of movie.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do a rock and roll biopic, please do something different.
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't care.
Well, and then, of course, it's like executive produced by Elton John. And I was like, well, duh. It felt like he went through therapy to make this. Like, this movie was like, I felt like I was a member of that AA group. Like, I'm forced to listen to this, billionaire's grievances about his, and I'm like, I'm not a therapist. I'm not getting paid for this.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Because that's how they framed it. Was like, oh, well, so you have a lot of trauma? Tell us about that. Well, it all started
Nobody
when I
was
a child.
even asking him any questions. He just burst into this meeting and started rambling on. Everyone in the AA meeting is like, and they're not like, it's Elton John, I'm going to take a selfie. Like, I don't know, it was just weird the way it was set up.
It was.
Yeah, we never got to see like him filming Tommy, with the Who. Like he never runs into the Who. Oh, how did he get involved with Tommy? Like did the Who ask him? Is that when he met Tina Turner? Let's get into it. But no.
I mean, then they would have to have someone play Tina Turner.
That's a movie where she comes out the other side. What's love got to do with it? Is like her being like, fuck you, Ike. I mean, it's fucked up. But then I do believe that the last half, it does show her getting better. So there's that.
Yeah.
That's one. Oh my God. So can I tell you some other people that were possibly considered for Elton?
Yeah.
Tom Hardy.
I feel like I heard that. And I feel like when I saw the picture, I was like, wait, I could kind of see it. But no.
The look is opposite.
Yeah,
He's like a huge, hulking, muscular,
Yeah, he would have to change his
it's
entire...
the opposite.
Yeah.
No. James McAvoy?
Yes, because I believe he can do
anything. Anything, but the look would not have worked.
Not really. They'd have to do a lot more makeup.
Yeah. And Elton John's first pick when he was like, I'm gonna make a biopic about myself. Who would you want to play you? Justin Timberlake.
No.
Oh no.
That's just, also this seems just so vain.
Oh, it's
me.
so like, who do I want? Justin Timberlake. You know what I mean? It's
that
like,
doesn't make any sense at all. Also, Justin Timberlake couldn't do the accent. He couldn't. I mean, he could sing.
He can't act.
He can't act. That's yes.
So we're already at a loss here. So no. I thought Taron's voice was the best part of his performance.
Yes.
So, I thought we were really harsh on it. It was fine.
It was fine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You could certainly see it, and, like, it's fine. It's just, it's not like a particular escape or, like, a good time at the movies and, like, oh, isn't this music great?
Well, it should be, like, the whole point of cabaret, right? Like, oh, outside the world is fucked. We have to go to the cabaret to forget our problems. That's what the movie should have been like. And now we're in this musical number. And it kind of did.
Kind of.
But, like, he never seemed excited about the music.
Right. He never had fun in the cabaret.
He never had fun in the cabaret. And it seemed, like, resentful of his fans. Like, I felt bad. Like, when he was, like, backstage, he's like, well, gotta get my costume on. Hope I don't kill myself before the show starts. And you're like, oh, man, I can't wait to go on the new tour you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know everyone has their problems and everything, but, like, there was just no joy in him. Like, they could show him being, shy and afraid before he gets on stage, but then once he gets on stage, oh boy, does he come alive.
I guess they only wanted the Troubadour.
That was fun, but it seemed like as soon as Bernie decided to go sleep with Heather in the teepee, everything went downhill.
Yeah.
For me, the most interesting part of the movie was their friendship.
Yes.
And the movie didn't really think that was the most interesting part of it. No. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But here and there, good performances, fun songs. You could also just go, like, listen to your greatest hits of Elton John and, like, have a great time and have a dance party.
Yep.
Great.
Certainly do that.
We'll watch that Muppet Show episode with Elton John.
Oh my God, I'm down for that.
Go watch Tommy. If you're prepared. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Tom Hanks, that bastard needs another Oscar like I need another phone call from Elton John.